What's up, card fighters? BOTCG here, and we're starting off the new year with the new format that's coming up. Even though technically it's not legal until the 19th of this month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, until the 19th of this month. But yeah, we were just at my crib practicing it. This is gonna be Omnia, the Omnia deck that I've been labbing for the past week versus just bread and butter YouthBERK Full Blast. Just a straight up, the most straight up vanilla combo deck now. Shout outs to David, my buddy I'm playing with here right now. He actually was talking about selling the deck because he told me it's just not the same as it was, and that's very true. The deck definitely doesn't play the same anymore. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it right here. High roll to see who goes first. I believe he gets it here, so he's going to start off. He's going to pitch the grade 2 combo piece, basically, right up. Doesn't have the grade 1 angel yet. Pitch the mask here to ride up. I'm going to draw a card, and then I'm going to activate Omnia Crow. Top 5 for a grade 3 Omnia. I whiff, but since I whiffed, I do get a Soul Charge 2 here. And this match is very teachable of this format. So I swing for 8 here, get a heal. Very teachable in this format for me, at least, is just the way that it basically plays out. Is that it's kind of just the way, if you're playing a very comparable deck, the way that the game kind of plays out now is it's kind of who has the most perfect guards, like who has enough perfect guards to survive your opponent's like kill turn or survive their push turn, basically. So he's gonna activate the grade 1 cat here, get the grade 1 angel here, so he's gonna soul charge another revolt form, so he's gonna have 2 of the 3 that he needs. Well, actually, he's getting full blast here, and he's gonna soul charge a card from hand. Well, one of the revolt forms, so he has 2 of the 3. So he's gonna swing us for 8 here. We go ahead and take it. So it's for 10, we guard that. Then he's going to swing here. We get the over trigger here, which is very nice, so we do get to stay at 2 damage. Ride up, activate the grade 2 owl skill. We're going to soul charge. I believe we soul charge. We were debating on whether or not to soul charge the front, because he's not playing fronts in this list. But since the front's a one of, I just wanted it as a different trigger. So I believe I just soul charge the front anyway. Yeah, I go for the front here. Because in this version of the deck, if you haven't seen the deck profile already, which you should, when you get a chance, it's a very informative and nice deck profile. We were only playing one copy of the front in this list. Don't have anything else to do here, so we're just swinging at the Vanguard for 10. He just takes it, we get a crit here, so we do push him to 3. Pitch here, ride up, activate the ride line here, get back that grade 2, then immediately proc its effect to get the last piece. So now he has all 3 different revolve forms to be able to proc full blast fully. So he's swinging us for 23 here. I believe we no guard. Yeah, I was debating whether or not if I guard or not, but we no guard here. He's gonna go ahead and do his full blast here. Go ahead and swing 28 with a crit here. And I go ahead 2 to pass him for 40. He gets a crit, so he's going to give everything to one of his rear guards. This column's 38, if I'm not mistaken. And then I just perfect guard. I'm going to stand and draw here. Go ahead and pitch a rune collector, and then top 5 for an Omnia or a mask. Off of grade 3 OG Omnia's effect here, we get Omnia Mask here. Which I do believe we already had one in hand, if I'm not mistaken. Go ahead and proc its effect here. Then we're going to Omnia Mask. Going to Letalika here. So we're going to bind another trigger. So right now we have currently a front and heels bound. And my favorite play right there, man, is when you play Littleika and then you basically top call a Misery Wing and you're able to get that draw off of the Misery Wing. It feels so good. I'm going to activate Omnia's effect here, remove OG, bind to crit, so now we have the effect of minus 5k, and he doesn't get the 10k on damage checks, to crits, heals, and fronts. Call out a Rune Collector here, and we're going to go straight to combat. So we're going to swing for 31 at the Vanguard. He takes it, we get a crit, we give all effects to Vanguard here, and seconds a Rune Collector. Put Rune Collector to Soul, and we're going to swing for 33 with a crit here. He guards, we get another crit, so yeah, we give all effects to the Misery Wing? No. So at first I was going to give all effects to the Misery Wing, but I was just debating in my head, like, my other column was very weak, because he only had to guard with 2 triggers to block it, so that's the reason why I gave the power and critical to the Littleika here. Because so now he has to use basically 2 triggers and a 5k to be able to block this attack here. He's going to swing for 23 here, and I go for a 2 to pass here. Obviously, he's out of gas, so he just goes for it, and that does kill us, and takes us to 6 here. So we're going on to game 2. Obviously, we were favored to win that game, but I didn't have, like, perfect guards in my hand to be able to, like, stop him from doing that. Like, just giving all effects to Vanguard. And we were talking about it post game, that, like, oh, what if you overguarded my Vanguard? And I'm like, if I overguarded your Vanguard and you gave all effects to a rear guard, then I wouldn't be able to guard that rear guard. Since I was already at 4, I can only take 1 more damage. So I had to choose past the Vanguard there and just hope he didn't, like, give it all to Vanguard, which he did. He had no other options. That was basically the only way he was going to be able to close the game out here. But going off here, I am going to go first. I actually do have a very good going first game because of Littleika now. Just being able to get that 3 different trigger binds on your first grade 3 turn is very nice. So we mull 4 here, keeping an Omnia Mask. Like I said, guys, this is a very like I said, if you lose, which I've been struggling with myself lately, if you lose because, like, you were that close, like, you just need, like, 1 perfect guard, or you just need 2 perfect guards, or you just need your opponent not to hit that 1 critical trigger, this is that format currently. This is that heavy, like, the only guard that kind of matters is, like, perfect guards. So, like, don't feel too bad, or don't, like, try not to get too upset. That's just kind of like the power level of the top tier decks that we're fighting against currently. Pass it off to my opponent here. He pitches a draws for going second, and he's going to swing us for 16 here. We take it, get the over trigger, and then draw for turn. Pitch a crit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Double checking to make sure everything in my hand was in my hand. Had a little bit of a slip up there, but we do grab the front again because we only play 1 of it. Go ahead and get a fresh draw here off the effect. And don't really have anything to play here in the early turn, so we just swing, get a crit here, put him to 2. Pitches a Tempest here. And he's going to trigger his ride line. Get the grade 1. And then Soul Charge. Yeah, Soul Charge the Zest. Because he already damaged the Zest. And he's going to put the Tempest in Soul. So he doesn't need the 1 in the drop zone. He's going to activate the Cat here. And the only unit that's not a trigger there is that 1 grade 1. So he is gonna spank us in the booty a little bit here. He's gonna swing for 18. We just take it. If we get nothing, he's gonna swing us for 16. We just take it. And then he's gonna swing us for 18. I do believe we guard for 15 here. I think we thought about it. But then we ultimately just take it. Yeah, we just take it. Pitch a heal trigger here. Top 5 for Omnia. We whiff, unfortunately. Then we're going to activate Omnia's skill. Bind the heal. We're going to go straight up into Mask. You still want a Superior Ride into the Mask just because it unlocks basically like a multi-attacking Vanguard here. We're going to activate its effect automatically here. So we have crits and heals turned off in our opponent's damage zone. At least the defensive power, that is. We're going to Soul Charge 2 for Swirler here. Then we're going to Soul Blast you to draw a card off of Misery Wing. Then I call another Misery Ring here. We're going to Soul Blast you to draw a card. Like I said, guys, Soul is free in this deck. In this deck, Soul is just very free. So we're going to swing for 21 here. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Letalika to get a different trigger in the bind zone, but it's not very relevant since its other triggers, the over trigger and draw triggers, and we haven't seen any of those yet. Well, the over trigger's out of the game, so I can't do anything against that. We're going to swing for 13 here, which he does guard for 25. We get a mask, and then we're going to swing for 20 here. He takes it, and then we're going to swing here. He takes it, and we're going to pass off to him. He's going to pitch, ride up, grab that grade 2 back, call it, and now he has all 3 different names for Full Blast. So Full Blast is fully online. So he's going to swing for 23 here at our Vanguard. And we just take it. He gets a crit here, so he's going to give crit to Vanguard, power to the grade 1 column. And then we didn't get any defensives here. Which I do believe I should have, my misplay was I should have guarded his first Vanguard swing in case he critted me. Because he did that, because he put me at a 5 automatically, I believe I have to 1 to pass his Vanguard here. Because he's 28. I'm currently just 28 myself. So I believe I do have to just 1 to pass his Vanguard here. So I activated the first Rain Colossus, but I didn't activate the second. So this is just 33 to his 28, which he does have Twin Drive. But that was the only way I'd be able to survive. And he doesn't check a trigger here. So we're pretty much Gucci for this turn. We guard with 2 15s on that column. And then for the other column, we perfect guard it. The reason I had to 1 to pass the Vanguard is because it was just the weakest attack of that turn. So we go into OG Omnia here. Consider it's an old school play, because normally we don't have to do the ride and then re-ride anymore because of Letalika. But consider this back to old school play right here, just because we don't have access to Letalika. And we only have 1, so we're going to Superior Ride here and draw. Superior Persona Ride here. We only have 1 trigger type, different trigger type in our drop zone right now. So that's why we don't even go to try and activate its ability here. We Soul Charge another Omnia Mask here. Give 5k to the Swirler. Then we're going to activate Omnia Mask here. Only really relevant for the crits and the heals because he doesn't play fronts. And we did have the draw in hand, but we opted to just call it as a booster. So he's going to perfect guard us here. First check is a crit. We're going to give the power power to Vanguard, and crit to Rearguard, and then second checks to Rain Colossus. Restand our Vanguard here, and then we're going to swing for 39 with a crit. He guards with 3 triggers, which are just 10k shields at this point. We get a draw trigger, so draw to our Rearguard, and he took the 6 damage. That's the end of game 2, going off into game 3 here. Like I said, it's just like the games, in most cases, if you're playing a comparable deck and your opponent just kind of like doesn't steamroll you in card advantage, or just kind of like steamroll, like let's say like you opened up really bad and they opened up really good, and like one trigger basically changed the entire course of the game, you're gonna get really close games like this. To whereas if your opponent had 1 perfect guard, or if they had like 2 perfect guards, you know, they would have survived your push turn and then you die to their following turn. Or let's say you had the perfect guards, and, you know, vice versa. So that's just the format that we're in currently right now, guys. Which is why I really like main decking the Rain Colossuses here, is because if you have 3 different cards and 3 different triggers in bind, it's a 20k shield by itself. If you have 4, it's a 25k shield, and if you have 5, it's a 30k shield by itself. Which this is the format to have like a 1 card 20k shield card. This is the format to have that. Alright, so Youth is going to go ahead and start us off here. They're pitching the grade 1 Angel. You love to see it. Go ahead and shove Zest into Soul, and then they're going to go ahead and pass turn here. Draw for turn, pitch the draw trigger here, and then draw for going second. We're going to activate the Crow here. Add OG Omnia. And we're just going to swing for 8 here. He takes it, we get a perfect guard, love to see it. He's going to draw for turn here, pitch Persona Ride, then top 3 search, call the grade 2, and then immediately activate it. And get a Gust into Soul here. We're going to just swing for 10 here, we opt to take it. We get a defensive, which shuts down the rest of his turn. Pitch a crit here, right up into the Owl. And we're going to grab our second draw trigger here. The reason that we grab our second draw trigger is because the front is in our hand. And I would rather take out the last draw from my deck versus taking out a crit or a heal, even though we currently don't have any heals in hand. We're going to go ahead and draw a card here. Don't have anything to call, so we're just going to... I think what I do here is swing at Rearguard to deny him resources. Oh, no. I just swing at Vanguard here. I think I wanted to do that, but I ultimately decided, like, the damage was just... It was better to just damage him in this situation. Just gonna go ahead and add back Persona right here. He's gonna pitch first. Put him to the bottom. And then he's gonna grab Tempest here. And then he's just gonna swing it for 13. He only has a front row here, but he does have full blast combo. Just gonna guard his Vanguard 15 here. We do have the heal. I believe we drew it out off the Owl, if I'm not mistaken. He gets a crit here. Just gonna go ahead and activate Full Blast. And because he has a crit Rearguard and he has a crit Vanguard, I have to take one, so I opt to just take the crit Vanguard here. Like, I can't realistically guard both. He's gonna swing for 30 here. And then the other column is 40. which we overguard slightly here, but the reason we guard this way is because we do need those certain trigger types in the drop zone. And we're just going to perfect guard the last one here. We're just trying to stay at low damage here. The lower damage we are, the higher chance that we're going to survive his second full blast turn. We get Omnia here off of riding OG. We're going to use OG's effect here. Bind a crit, that's what it looks like. Sorry about the glare, guys. There's like only like slight glare in that one corner. We're gonna Superior Persona Ride here. Play Letalika here. We get the front trigger here, but I do believe I take that back because I realized it was a misplay and we were supposed to put the draw, not the front. So we're gonna call which this is testing, guys, you know. We tend to try and like allows takes these as you see Dave just stare at the camera here. We tend to allow takes these backsies here just because we want to see what the optimum play was ultimately. So we're going to activate mask here. So we have a crit, a heal, and the draw. So we've locked out all his triggers defensively besides the front trigger. And we're just going to swing for 31 here. Unfortunately, we couldn't commit anything else. And not very good drive checks from us, but luckily we've turned off his defensive, so we're just going to swing for 23 here. But he's at 2, so he can afford to just eat a lot of these attacks. And again, not very sexy drive checks from us. We're going to swing for 28 here, which is just 2 triggers to guard. Yeah, just 2 triggers to guard. And then 30, which is also just 2 triggers to guard, but I believe he just opts to take this. Yeah, he opts to just take this. And we pass turn here. He Persona Rides. And we are at 3, but I do not believe our hand is that sexy defensively. I do see a Perfect Guard there, and I believe I do see 1 Rain Colossus. But in terms of defense, our hand is just not really that that well built. Even though we are at 3, which I do believe the way we guarded was correct. He gets a draw trigger here, draws. And he gets a heal trigger here, which he does heal. We get a defensive here. I believe it was a defensive crit. It's going to go up into full blast here, tucking our Letalika. Actually, we survived this turn. I believe what kills us was the draw triggers. Because he gets another draw here. And what he told me later on was that his draws drew him into Perfect Guards. And that's what ultimately killed us here. That his draws drew him into extra Perfect Guards. He already was saving a Perfect Guard for my next push turn. So right now, I believe he has either 3 or 4 Perfect Guards in hand. Which again, this is just the format, guys. This is literally just the format. Unfortunately, we had to use our Perfect Guards early, so we only have 1 to expend here. So this is going to be 43 here. And we guard with 2 10Ks. And then we take the second one. Draw. Persona Ride here. Call a second Letalika. Get that front in there. Top 5. Call a Misery Ring here, which is kind of unoptimal. If I knew I was going to get a Misery Ring, I would have put the Letalika in front of the Swirler, but I had no clue. You know what I mean? It's a blind top 5. Go ahead and Soul Blast 2 to draw 1 here. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where we just kind of have to go for it and hope we can kill our opponent, which in all hindsight, he doesn't have that many cards in hand, but you know, it's the Perfect Guards. Like, I could see 3 Perfect Guards in his hand, and that's ultimately what kills us. We even checked the over trigger here, which I actually, in hindsight, because I wasn't expecting him to have multiple Perfect Guards, I should have given the 100 million to Letalika because it's such a weak column. Because the over trigger gives us a 10k to our Vanguard anyway, so we would have been swinging for an extra 23 here. Because I believe he doesn't even have to expend his... Yeah, he doesn't even have to expend his last Perfect Guard here. Yeah, that's just the format, guys. Obviously, you saw from our drive checks, our hand is nowhere near to survive another full blast turn. We survived two, but it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, especially if they persona ride, it's just very hard to survive another one. Which he pitched an angel and he called an angel. That's why he searched twice. Which he doesn't have any more targets in deck, but he could still grab it from drop to get a draw here. And the reason I shuffle his deck so much here, guys, is him and Nick, they both like to do this. They like to do what I like to call is the Yugi shuffle, is where they take the bottom of their deck and put it on top, and then they do that again as their shuffle, and they do that a couple times here. The problem is that's not a real shuffle. And like I try to explain to him every time, but it's not a real true shuffle. Like they're mixing up the sum of the middle cards, but it's not a true shuffle. So like I just like to riffle shuffle their deck a couple times because it's not a real shuffle. It's not a real shuffle. But that is the end of the game, guys. Tell me what you thought about in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are very close to that 1K mark. We're gonna try and start this year off strong and do that giant giveaway, the giant playmat giveaway. Which, if you don't know what playmat we're giving away, it is our channel banner. So go ahead and check out the channel. You're gonna see that first. That's the playmat that we're giving away, the channel playmat, and we're going to be giving out a ton of them to subscribers. So, yeah, stay tuned for that, guys, and y'all have a good night. Later.